Good afternoon, everyone, especially to our instructor, Ma'am Wina May Ampo. I am Antoinette Acaso together with my co-masterants who will tackle about survey. Here are the objectives of our report. First is to know the survey type of quantitative research. Next, determine the benefits of survey method. Then, know the types of survey method. Next is to enumerate the ways in posing effective survey questions. And lastly, know the best practices in analyzing survey data. What is a survey? In quantitative research method of collecting sample of individuals through standardized questionnaires or interviews, surveys are used to gather information about opinions, attitudes, behaviors, or characteristics of a population. They typically involve asking respondents a series of questions and recording their answers in a structured format. Survey is a quantitative method whereby a researcher poses some set of predetermined questions to an entire group or sample of individuals. Survey is an especially useful approach when a researcher aims to describe or explain features of a very large group or groups. This method may also be used as a way of quickly gaining some general details about one's population of interest to help prepare for a more focused, in-depth study using time-intensive methods such as in-depth interviews or field research. In this case, a survey may help a researcher identify specific individuals or locations from which to collect additional data. Now, here are the benefits of survey method. First is cost-effective. Surveys are an excellent way to gather lots of information from many people. But we just imagine what it might have cost to visit each of those people individually to interview them in person. Then consider the cost of gasoline to drive around that place or any travel costs such as meals or lodging. And the cost of time to drive or to talk with each person individually. We could double, triple, or even quadruple our cost pretty quickly by opting for an in-person method of data collection over an online survey, especially in this time that we are in a modern world. The surveys are relatively cost-effective. Next, survey method is generalizable. A survey is potential for generalizability because surveys allow researchers to collect data from very large samples for a relatively low cost. Then this is the best method to use when one hopes to gain a representative pictures of the attitudes and characteristics of a large group. Generalizability is important because conclusions from any research study should be able to be applied from the sample population to the general population at large. Next, survey method is reliable. Survey research also tends to be a reliable method of inquiry. This is because surveys are standardized and that the same questions, phrased in exactly the same way, are posed to participants. It offers consistency that a quantitative survey offers. This is not to say that all surveys are always reliable, but a well-constructed question and questionnaire design, one strength of survey methodology is its potential to produce reliable results. Kaya nagagaykan manggajud sila mismo sa mga respondents. Then, fourth is versatile. Versatility of survey research is also an asset. Surveys are used by all kinds of people in all kinds of professions. I repeat, surveys are used by all kinds of people in all kinds of professions. The versatility offered by survey research means that understanding how to construct and administer surveys is a useful skill to have for all kinds of jobs. For example, lawyers might use surveys in their efforts to select juries, social service, and other organizations. For example, in churches, clubs, or activist groups. They use them to evaluate the effectiveness of their efforts. Businesses use them to learn how to market their products, and governments then use them to understand community opinions and needs. And politicians and media outlets use surveys to understand their constituencies. Then, next is the types of survey method to be tackled by Ma'am Shilami Bernales.
Once again, good afternoon everyone, most especially to our Professor Dr. Wenami Ampo. Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Shilami B. Butlig. So you already knew what is survey and it benefits to every researchers in collecting data. This time, we will find out the different types of surveys. Each survey type serves a specific purpose, and when utilized correctly, it can provide a evaluable insight to inform business decisions and strategies. Whether you're looking to delve into market trends, evaluate customer satisfaction, or refine your content strategy, there's a survey designed to meet your needs. Now, let's start with the first survey method, online survey method. Online survey method is easy to build and share surveys using intuitive survey builder with different question types, like for example multiple choice, rank based, heat map, rating based, and many more. The second type of survey method is the chat survey. The chat surveys are a newer survey method that allows respondents to answer questions through a chat interface. This type of survey is beneficial for business because it allows them to gather real-time feedback and can be used to generate leads or qualify potential customers. Additionally, chat surveys are easy to use and can be tailored to fit the specific needs of your business. If you are looking for a way to gather feedback from your customers or leads, then a chat survey may be the perfect solution for you. The third type of survey method is the face-to-face survey. From the word itself, it is a personal interview survey. It requires little effort on the part of the respondents as the interviewer meets them at a pre-arranged time and location. Then, the interviewer works directly with the respondents while filling out the survey and clarifies their doubts. The fourth type of survey method is the focus group. The focus groups, like the face-to-face survey, it also conducted through a group of people around 6 to 10. So the group is selected to represent the survey's target population. Each person can share their feedback on a topic while a moderator leads the group. So their role is to control the flow of discussion and reduce bias. So that is a focus group. The fifth type of survey method is the panel sampling. So panel sampling is when you choose people randomly from a target audience to be a part of a panel. This panel is then part of a study that requires them to take recurring surveys over a period. So panel samples allows the researchers to study changes within the population as well as changes in individual people. However, they can be vulnerable to attrition if people leave the study before it is finished. For example of this is a census, wherein you will collect information from an entire population of a country or an area. It covers everyone in the population at the same time and asks the same core questions. The sixth type of survey method is the mail survey. Mail surveys are questionnaires distributed and delivered via postal service to a sample audience. So the respondents then have to complete these surveys and return them via mail. So when drafting a mail survey, ensure that the study does not exceed 1 page. Also, include a cover letter with your enterprise letterhead and the purpose of the survey. In addition, it should include details like the survey deadline and the incentives. So the next type of survey method is the kiosk survey. It is a type of offline survey that is conducted using an electronic kiosk. So what is an electronic kiosk? It is a standalone device that is usually placed in public areas such as malls, airports, or hospitals. Kiosks are usually equipped with a touchscreen and computer that can be programmed to run surveys. So, like what you have seen in the picture, you might have seen product promotion kiosks at your local mall or self-service kiosks at your favorite restaurant. So, the latest kiosks also offer consumers the feature of taking surveys. So, kiosk surveys aim to collect feedback immediately after interaction with the brand. The last types of survey method is the paper survey. So, a paper survey is a traditional method of collecting data where respondents are given a physical questionnaires or survey form to fill out by hand. So, this method is often used when internet access or digital devices are not readily available, or when face-to-face interaction is preferred. So, many researchers feel that paper surveys are a thing of the past, but paper surveys help to get responses from difficult to reach audiences through printed questionnaires. So those are the types of survey methods. Once again, the 8 types of survey method is the online survey method, the chat surveys, the face-to-face, focus groups, panel sampling, mail surveys, kiosk surveys, and last is the paper survey. So for the continuation of our report, I will give the rest to Ma'am Prichelle Legas Moring. Thank you all for listening and God bless everyone.
Good day, everyone, especially to Ma'am Juana. I am the third reporter of the survey method. So, for the continuation, to pose effective survey questions, researchers should do the following. First, identify what it is they wish to know. Second, keep questions clear and succinct, or in other words, keep questioners or questions precise or briefed. Third, make questions relevant to the respondents. Use filter questions when necessary. Fifth, avoid questions that are likely to confuse to the respondents, such as those that use double negatives, use culturally specific terms, or pose more than one question in the form of single question. Sixth, imagine how they would feel responding to questions. Do your best to keep the questionnaire as brief as possible. 7. Consider the time it will take respondents to complete the questionnaire. So, when you make a questionnaire, it is possible nga you will consider the time to take the respondents di kay arapong taas sa question mo. So, maboard na sila in-answer sa imong questions.
Next, get feedback especially from people who resemble those in the researcher's sample. Okay, from completed questionnaires to analyze data. It can be very exciting to receive those first few completed surveys back from the respondents. Hopefully, you will get more than a few back, and once you have a handful of completed questionnaires, your feelings may go from initial euphoria to dread. Data are fun and can be overwhelming. The goal with data analysis is to be able to condense large amounts of information into usable and understandable chunks. Here we'll describe just how the process works for the survey of the researcher. So, when you get back the questionnaires, it is very exciting to know what is the result or what are the outcomes of your research. Whatever your survey's response rate, the major concern of survey researchers, once they have their nice big stack of completed questionnaires, is condensing their data into manageable and analyzable. Okay, let's go now to best practices for analyzing survey data. Make sure you incorporate these tips in your analysis to ensure your survey results are successful. So best practices for analyzing survey data. First is ensure sample size is sufficient. So make it sure when you make a questionnaire, it is very sufficient to the respondents. O kinsa imong tagaan, dapat kanang kaigo siya dili siya kuwang sa respondents. If possible, sobra pa siya kay para napakay matagaan nga kanang respondents nga uban if willing mo answer. Okay, to always make sure you have a sufficient sample size, consider how many people you need to survey in order to get an accurate result. You must often will not be able to and shouldn't, for practical reasons, collect data from all the people you want to speak to. So you'd take the sample or the subset to the people of interest and learn what we can from the sample. Clearly, if you're working with a larger sample size, your results may be more reliable as they will often to be more precise. A larger sample size does often equate to needing a bigger budget, though. The way to get around this issue is to perform a sample size calculation before starting the survey. So, before ka mag-survey, you will give the questionnaires, imo sang banabanan o pila ka mga respondents imong hatagan sa questionnaires. If possible, pasubraan nimo og gamay. Then, you can have a large enough sample size to draw meaningful conclusions. Without wasting time and money or sampling more than you really need, consider how much margin or error you're comfortable working with first. As your sample size is always an estimate of how the overall population think and behave. Second best practices is statistical significance and why it matters. How do you know you can trust your survey analysis? For example, that you can use the answers with confidence as a basis for your decision making. In this regard, the significant and statistical significance refers to how accurate your data is, or rather that your results are not based on pure chance, but that they are in fact representative of a sample. If your data has statistical significance, it means that a large extent the survey results are meaningful. It also shows that your respondents look like the total population of people about whom you want to draw conclusions. Next is the third best practices of analyzing survey data is focus on your insights, not the data. When presenting your stakeholders, it's imperative to highlight the insight derived from your data rather than the data itself. You'll do yourself a disservice. Don't even present the information from the data. Don't wait for your team to create insights out of the data. You'll get better response and better feedback if you are the one that demonstrates insights to begin with, as it goes beyond just sharing percentage and data breakouts. Fourth, best practices is to complement with other types of data. Don't stop at the survey data alone. When presenting your insights to your stakeholders or board, it's always helpful to use different data points, and which might include personal experiences. If you have personal experience with a topic, use it. If you have qualitative research that supports the data, use it. So if you can overlap qualitative research findings with your quantitative data, do so. Just be sure to let your audience know when you are showing them findings from statistically significant research and when it comes from different sources. Okay, that's all the topic about survey method in research. Thank you for listening.